8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news. Edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Indrani Senanayaka. The headlines. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that priority will be given to Buddhism according to the Constitution. Heavy rains have caused water levels in the Kalu, Ging and Nilwala rivers to rise significantly. Agalawatta and Matugama recorded the highest rainfall in the country over the past 24 hours, receiving a staggering 264.5 millimeters. The National Building Research Organisation says that pre-landslide warnings have been issued to 8 districts. 4 sluice gates of the Polgola Reservoir have been opened by half a metre. A program was organised to look into the welfare of the members of war heroes who sacrificed their lives to protect the country. In foreign news, Russia pounds Ukrainian energy facilities with missile and drone barrage. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that priority will be given to Buddhism according to the Constitution. It has been entrusted to safeguard its policies to the executive, constitution and the judiciary. No one can debate about it. He stated if anyone requests a change, it will have to be changed through the Constitution. It is a violation of the Constitution to not support it. He made these remarks while opening the Suva Arana Gilan Bhikkhu Centre in Kirivattudua in Homagama. All parliamentarians have the responsibility to safeguard the Constitution. He stated that this is the first hospital constructed for Gilan Bhikkhus. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that no hospital has been constructed for the Gilan Bhikkhus in the recent past. This has been constructed with the support of local and foreign philanthropists. Heavy rains have caused water levels in the Kaluging and Nilwala rivers to rise significantly, prompting warnings from the Irrigation Department. The department's Hydrology and Disaster Management Unit urged residents on both sides of the rivers to exercise extreme caution. Valipanna in Matugama has been the hardest hit by the downpour, with around 30 houses already flooded. Agalawatta and Matugama recorded the highest rainfall in the country over the past 24 hours, receiving a staggering 264.5 millimeters. Kalutara District Disaster Management Assistant Director Lieutenant Colonel Prashantha Pereira reported that Matugama received 240 millimeters of rain in the same 24-hour period, ending at 8:30 this morning. This excessive rainfall has led to flooding on several roads in the Matugama and Avittava areas. Accumulated rainwater has also caused obstructions on roads including the Matugama-Kalutara Road. The Met Department has issued a warning for potential heavy rain across the southwestern part of the island. Landslide warnings remain in effect for a total of 7 districts due to the ongoing heavy rains. The Disaster Management Centre says that 13,717 persons from 3,834 families have been affected by the adverse weather condition. 190 divisional secretariat divisions of 20 districts have been affected by this situation. The National Building Research Organisation says that pre-landslide warnings have been issued to 8 districts. 4 sluice gates of the Polgola Reservoir have been opened by half a metre. The sluice gates of the Kakuleganga has also been opened. Director of the Irrigation Department, Engineer SPC Sugiswara, said that a considerable rainfall has been reported in the Kudaganga in the Kaluganga. If heavy rains continue, floods can occur in the Divisional Secretariat divisions of Bulat Sinhala, Maduravala and Palinda Nuwara. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. We continue with local news. A program to look into the welfare of the members of war heroes who sacrificed their lives to protect the country was conducted today at the Diyatalava camp. The program was organized by the Sri Lanka Army. State Minister Pramita Bandara was present as the chief guest on this occasion. He appreciated the dedication rendered by these families, and that ends the local segment of news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala.
The second term of government and government-affiliated Sinhala and Tamil schools will begin on Monday. It will be effective until the 16th of August. The third stage of the first school term ended yesterday, and that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala.
Specialist doctors of the Dengue Eradication Unit, Sudat Samaravira, says that there will be a risk of an increase in dengue patients due to the existing rainy weather. Currently, more than 24,000 dengue patients have been identified. 9 deaths were reported. The dengue eradication program will be implemented in 71 public health inspector divisions, and that came to you in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
First, the headlines. Russia pounds Ukrainian energy facilities with missile and drone barrage. Ex-US admiral charged with bribery for Navy contact. Israel's war on Gaza. Hamas views Biden's truce offer positively. Russian forces have launched a barrage of missiles and drones across Ukraine that damaged energy infrastructure in 5 regions, according to Ukrainian officials. Ukraine's national grid operator said today the attacks struck facilities in the eastern Donetsk, southeastern Zaporizhia and Dnipropetrovsk regions, as well as other regions in the center and west of the country, respectively. This morning, the Russians launched another strike on Ukrainian energy facilities. Since March, it has already the 6th massive complex missile and drone attack against the civilian energy infrastructure, the national grid operator said. A retired 4-star U.S. Navy admiral has been arrested on allegations that he agreed to award a government contract to a company in exchange for a future job with the firm. Admiral Robert Burke, who served as Vice Chief of Naval Operations until 2022, could face up to 30 years in jail if convicted on bribery charges, prosecutors say. The 62-year-old did not enter a formal plea during his initial court appearance in Miami, Florida yesterday. 2 business executives at the firm, identified only as Company A, were also arrested. They each could be jailed for up to 20 years. Hamas says it regards President Joe Biden's ceasefire proposal positively, raising hopes of a halt to Israel's 8-month war that has killed more than 36,000 Palestinians, mostly children and women. The United States President says the new Israeli proposal for a Gaza truce is a roadmap to an enduring ceasefire and the release of all hostages, adding that it's time to end the war. But Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu insists on Hamas's destruction as part of an Israeli plan presented by Biden. To end this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. Russia pounds Ukrainian energy facilities with missile and drone barrage. Ex-US admiral charged with bribery for Navy contact. Israel's war on Gaza. Hamas views Biden's truce offer positively. And that ends this bulletin of world news.
Development news.
Financial grants have been allocated to provide equipment needed for disabled persons in the Over province. This program will be initiated by the Social Services Department of the province, and that was development news.
Moving on with sports news.
Sri Lankan sprinter Anura Darshana won gold in the men's 400-meter event at the Taiwan Athletics Open 2024. Darshana claimed first place in the final today with a timing of 45.82 seconds. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka's Tarushi Karnaratne also won gold in the women's 400-meter event with a timing of 52.48 seconds at the Taiwan Athletics Open 2024. Taiwan Athletics Open is a bronze-level tournament on the World Athletics Continental Tour with crucial ranking points. And that was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න as වහගෙන දැකපු ගීත හැබැයි කරන්න NSB Itru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Another phase of the program of the distribution of incubators aimed at strengthening the rural economy and uplifting the small-scale poultry farm owners was held this week at the Sitavaka Pradesh Sabha under the patronage of Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. Through an incubator, which is provided under the assistance of the Chinese government, direct income sources will be opened for 5 families and other beneficiaries, and that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekakthiyana youth ekata life eke change ekata niyameta set wenna as wahagena dekapuina habe karanna youth ekata niyameta set wenna friendship ekata menna. The all new NSB Itru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
A look now at economic news. Sri Lanka welcomed over 100,000 visitors in May, with year-to-date arrivals at the verge of exceeding the 900,000 milestone. During the first 28 days, the country received a total of 102,669 tourists, pushing the cumulative number to 887,320. With a daily average of 3,667 arrivals, industry analysts projected that the month could end with around 898,321 visitors, or potentially surpass the 900,000 mark due to a surge in arrivals by air and sea. In May 2023, the daily average of arrivals was at 2,687, and that was economic news.
Weather report.
And finally, we take a look at the weather report. The Met Department stated today that showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamu, central and southern provinces. Several spells of showers may occur in the northwestern province. Heavy showers of about 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Gaur, Matara and Nuwara districts. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the Uva, north central and eastern provinces and in the Mullaitivu district in the evening or at night. To end tonight's news broadcast, we take a look at the headlines again. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that priority will be given to Buddhism according to the Constitution. Heavy rains have caused water levels in the Kaluging and Nilvala rivers to rise significantly. Agalawatta and Matugama recorded the highest rainfall in the country over the past 24 hours, receiving a staggering 264.5 millimeters. Agalawatta and Matugama recorded the highest rainfall in the country over the past 24 hours, receiving a staggering 264.5 millimeters. The National Building Research Organization says that pre-landslide warnings have been issued to 8 districts. 4 sluice gates of the Polgola Reservoir have been opened by half a metre. A program was organized to look into the welfare of the members of war heroes who sacrificed their lives for the country. In foreign news, Russia pounds Ukrainian energy facilities with missile and drone barrage. That ends tonight's news broadcast. The time 8:50. This is Radio Sri Lanka.